You are listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Could our world be one of many? Spanning through space, time, and even social media platforms. Is TikTok able to send us messages and proof of an isolated future? Could a photo taken between seconds show a multidimensional traveler from the 1960s? And finally, we will learn from the new man who paid a visit to a small village in Germany. This is Cult Talks Conspiracies, Parallel Universe Encounters. Welcome, all you believers, idealists, skeptics, and all those who question the universe around them. I'm Bailey.
And I'm Ty.
And hello, we have finally made it to the end of our universe trilogy, everyone. I know this was a very big brain scientific journey full of questions and mystery and big words, lots of new words. But here we are. I had a lot of fun researching this one. How about you?
Yeah, I did too. I kind of wasn't sure what I wanted to do because I really didn't want to go down the route of like digging through Reddit, which I was kind of anticipating that's what I'd have to do. But I started looking around. I found one that luckily I had actually had read about before, and I thought it fit, so I was able to do that. And I've never got to talk about this one. So
nice.
Yeah, I didn't want to go down the Reddit thing. So.
Nice. Yeah, I get a little afraid of Reddit when it comes to parallel universe and alternate dimensions and whatnot. Because I mean, those are some long threads, y'all. Like
of course.
That was a little nerve-wracking going down some of those.
Yeah, I was trying to stay away from that.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is our third part in your big series.
It is, and I'm doing something easy after this one. This was good though. This was really good. I got to really dive deep into these, and I actually get to tell the encounters that kind of inspired this whole thing. And there's actually something that I learned just today that is brand new. Apparently, everybody else found out like very, very recently, like within. It all happened within 2021, and I just did not look at the second portion of what happened in 2021 that was different from what happened in the first portion. So I'm excited for that. I actually have two today, so we're going to talk about that. And then
we'll go Bailey, then me, then we'll cap off with Bailey.
Yep. And it's a short and sweet one. It's a little eerier one. I was really excited when I found this one. So I hope you guys enjoy them. I hope this puts a shiver up your spine and makes you ask some new questions.
Well, let's hear it, Bailey. Let's hear your first glitch in the universe encounter.
Where is Javier? So at Unico Super Var V Entre.
I can't help you with that one.
Literally wrote out how to pronounce it. So he is a TikToker. He is a TikToker. He is based in Valencia, Spain. His at username actually means only survivor in Spanish.
Interesting. Ominous.
Very ominous. So I'm going to use the English translation of his username.
Okay.
I don't know Spanish all that well. I do plan to learn Spanish this year. I do plan to learn it this year, but I'm not there yet. So Only Survivor acquired over 6 million followers on TikTok when he speculated that he was not only living in the future, but was the only one left.
Ooh.
So
he's transmitting from the future.
He's transmitting from the future.
And he's the last man standing.
He is. All the human race has gone extinct. He is like, it's wild, man. It's wild. And like he's doing all of this from 2027. So At the time,
so it's not that far in the future.
No, not that far ahead. This all came out in 2021, very early in 2021.
Okay.
So at the time, there was still a 6-year gap in between that time. Now we're at a 4-year gap, which so. How did this happen? How did this happen, Javier?
Does he answer this? Like, what happened?
Yes, he tells the story. So Javier says that he woke up in the hospital with no memory of what he was doing there. He doesn't know if he was ill.
That the premise of Walking Dead?
I think it's the premise of quite a few things, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think of as Rick Grimes.
What's that movie called? Babe, what's that movie called? Where the guy...
You're off to a good start. What's that movie called?
And it's a zombie film. 28 Days Later. It reminded me a lot of 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben.
Are there any zombies in this world?
There's no zombies. There's none. Maybe the zombies wiped him out. Maybe that was The Walking Dead and like there was other people in the hospital. Maybe it was Rick's roommate at one point in time. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Anyway, so he wakes up in the hospital, no memory on why he's there. When he went to go investigate, there were no nurses, no doctors, no staff, not even visiting family members anywhere. And nothing looks like it had really been disturbed. Like there's no papers everywhere. There's like everything looks nice and neat and, cleaned up. And that was one thing that I kept noticing through these TikTok videos because he documents all of this on TikTok and, shows these little clips going through these different locations. And everything is just very nice and neat and put together and looks like you just staged this place to look like there was nobody in there or that you've just cleaned up after a massive mess. So Javier would then claim to discover that this was the case all over Valencia, Spain, which is the 3rd largest city in Spain behind Madrid and Barcelona, I believe. So for this to be empty, it was extremely bizarre. So he then posted videos to TikTok where he gained a lot of attention. He posted videos walking through the city streets, going to historic landmarks, going past shops, even going as far as looking in the store mirrors and the store windows and showing behind him and all around him, showing that there was nobody there but him walking around in these streets. And they were all like, everything's empty. So Javier's followers then told him to go back to the hospital, which he did. And he also filmed and posted this to TikTok as well. So the hospital was still empty. Nothing had been disturbed. He did find paperwork in the hospital, but all of the handwritten markings on the paperwork showed the date as 2021. However, the computers all showed the date as March 1st, 2027. Very peculiar. So the followers then challenged him, asking him to ask Alexa what day it was. He asked Alexa. Alexa responded in her creepy monotone voice, March 1st, 2027.
Wow.
So I don't know how you hack into Alexa and do that, partly because we're not allowed to have Alexa at this house. I just don't fuck with it. Nope. Anyway,
I'm sure it makes a difference.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's the same thing as a cell phone. It really is.
It's a cell phone. It's the same thing as everything.
It's listening.
We're being recorded right now.
Quite literally, multiple ways we're being recorded.
Yeah. Everything we've done.
You guys actually don't get to see what Ty and I see when we're recording. We're still remote, but we're on like a Zoom call, like a FaceTime call with one another. The government has this recording, just so you know. Maybe not the government, just because we don't know for sure, but like the government. So then Javier was asked by his followers to go to the airport. This would prove to be a lot more challenging because, you think about going to the airport. There's obviously like a crap ton of people traveling. You've got a lot of airport staff. You've got flight attendants, pilots, janitors, people that make the coffee, people that mind the shops. And then you have the obvious security there, the massive amounts of security.
Yep.
Not a soul in sight at this airport. Not a single person at this airport. And the weird thing about it was, the panels that you see at the airport that, you look up and you see your flight times and like you see if anything's running late. That was updating. Like they were showing it in real time. So it's bizarre. It's bizarre. I don't know what's happening.
So does he ever like give an explanation as to what happened to the population? Like what?
A human extinction.
Does everyone went extinct?
Just everyone went extinct. Just he's the last one standing.
Crazy.
It's insane. But
there's no like bodies.
No, he hasn't found any bodies. There's still cars everywhere. Like he doesn't talk about a smell ever that I found. But also like all of his stuff is in Spanish. So that like I said, I'm learning Spanish. I'm just not there yet. So like. I don't know. I don't know if he ever talks about a smell. I don't think he does, but that city would get stinky.
You'd think, yeah.
You would
if anything,
think.
just smelling like old and rotting things.
Oh, you would think.
Yeah.
So then, to up the ante, another follower then propositioned Javier, saying that he would pay him $500,000 to go to the Spanish Palace of Valencia and walk through it. Now, this palace in Valencia is actually a place where like governing bodies like still go to today. Like it is actually owned by the Spanish kingdom. Yes, there's still a king and queen of Spain. And I know this because I love the royal family a lot. So I know all of these things. But nevertheless, important political figures are going to be in this building. There's going to be actual work being conducted.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's going to be security. And guess what? The theme of this whole story is there was no one there. He walked straight through it, just waltzed right into the palace. He went to the attached museum. He looks up, or he actually goes into what looks like a little like study hall with a bunch of like children's paintings up on the walls. And Javier's having a great time. Like he's getting to go to all these places.
And so somehow he's just able to project from the future back to the past.
That's what I couldn't understand, because here's the thing that I found in all of the dimensions and parallel universe research, and even independently on my own, is that these things can't interact with one another. We're going parallel, we're going side by side. At no point in time, at least not yet, have we been able to, kind of cross our lines and interact with one another. This hasn't been able to happen. So this is crazy. So then a lot of the skeptics started stepping forward and said, well, how do we know you're not going to these places either early in the morning or late at night? How do we know that you didn't just grab all of this footage from back when the lockdowns happened? Because this is in 2021, 2020, everyone knows what happened there. A lot of the cities were locked down, depending on where you are or where you were. It was like full house arrest. Let's not lie. It was a lot of different rules for a lot of different places. So how did we know that Javier didn't just grab all this footage and kind of backstock it and then put it out for this story that he was working on, quote unquote? So that was when he would start to, turn around in the cameras and, say like, this is me turning around, like this is, what the technology is saying on my phone. And at one point he went into like a town square, which is a heavily populated area. Yep. Throughout the day. And especially throughout the evening. And he looked up at the clock that was in the square, and it said 5:30 in the evening, 5:30 p.m. And it was dark, so but here's my problem with that is when I saw a photo of the square that he was in, it's a round clock. Like it's not an electric clock that would show AM or PM. So it could be 5:30 in the morning when no one's around, or it could be 5:30 in the evening. It's kind of left for how much you want to trust this. So
very interesting. I've never heard of this guy. That's super interesting. It's all just on TikTok.
It's all on TikTok. I actually looked at his page today. He had just released a video today. He's
still putting shit out.
Oh yeah, Javier's over there in 2027 having a great time. But he one thing he did post, I think it was yesterday. It'll be like a couple months for you guys. But back in January, he posted him holding a World Cup, which is happening right now. Which it took me a minute to realize what that was, because like I'm not all that into soccer. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, so big deal. And here's the kicker, pun unintended. Javier's followers then asked him to go to a police station since, getting into the palace wasn't all that hard. So he goes, the police station is empty. He gets back into the offices, back into the jails. He sees everything's empty.
Mm-hmm.
Another weird part about this story that I found very, very strange was in this particular TikTok, he is able to find a car key. And to me, it's like it's in a random position, like it's underneath a bench. And he just finds it. Like, to me, it looks placed. It looks placed. So, and then he's able to get into the police car and drive it. Like, that's the video. He turns the lights on, gets in the police car, drives it around, and is like, yeah, I did it. Cool beans. So he also did the exact same thing with a Mercedes dealership in Valencia, Spain as well. He went into the dealership, found a pair of keys and the car that went with it, and took it off the lot. I was like, this is my Mercedes now. Here you go. Like, oh, man. So then Javier would then start leaving things in parts all around Valencia. He would actually post a video with the item he was leaving and the latitude and longitude coordinates of where the items were. And people were finding them and posting them about it. And let me pause right here. If someone leaves something that wasn't there before in the future for you to find, the people in the past are probably not going to be able to find it unless my logic is a little bit off that way.
No, I would say that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
People were like freaking out about this. And I'm like, this doesn't line up, guys. Because I'm right. Like, if he's saying he's from the future, we shouldn't be able to find these things, right? Unless we also are living.
You mean things he left behind? Like, he's leaving things? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But then again, how is he also uploading from the past, from the future to the past? It's like, it's a weird thing. It's like, is he? It's a very odd thing, or maybe he's implying that he. Shit, I don't know. It's a
I don't
weird
know.
Thing.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, like I said, you shouldn't be able to find things from the future and the past,
but you also shouldn't be able to
upload videos to the past from the future. So very weird.
I mean, putting it in like, it's basically seeing a newspaper from the future. Like, is pretty much what this is. So this is when it really got weird, was one follower actually challenged Javier to come take something from the studio in which the follower worked in. Like, if you're really seeing this, come take something from my studio that we'll just keep here. So the follower had hidden a book underneath a light in the studio and invited Javier to come take it from, his point of view in 2027. So, because if they're not planning on moving it, ideally in 2027, it will still be there. So Javier actually did so. And, he posted a video of walking into the office. It looks empty. Everything's all nicely neat and placed and whatnot. And he walks into the office and grabs the book from underneath the light, picks it up, carries it. There's no sign of age or dust or anything on the book, which is something I was pausing and zooming in, like trying to find, like, are the pages wrinkled? Like, what's happening? So he gets the book. And then the follower goes back and, checks the CCTV footage because the book is now gone. And they were shocked to find that there was no Javier on screen, but there was a translucent figure moving across the screen, and the TV footage. So
this almost like his timeline is overlapping with ours. Is that what's happening?
It's literally like a parallel universe. One of the best ways I found it was a man trapped in another dimension in time that is crossing over top of ours.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, yes.
More so than, that's the most plausible one.
And they couldn't see him on the CCTV footage. And when they played it back, it would glitch out. Like, it would start, kind of staticking around, and it wouldn't do that at any other point in time in the video. So what do we make of all this? Is TikTok the mind-bending evidence we need for a parallel universe? And has this social media platform now embarked on scientific discoveries and technologies that we only dreamed of occurring?
Who knows?
I think Elon Musk invested in the wrong company, y'all.
He may have. He should have bought TikTok.
I don't know.
Could have been some groundbreaking stuff coming out of there.
Maybe.
TikTok is getting kind of interesting. I've seen where the other day where someone was posting like stuff that they've seen a giant and stuff like that. That's kind of stuff I like. I don't like dancing TikTok, so I like that kind of shit. But that was good. I've never heard of this guy. I've got to look him up.
I'm not done.
Not done. Still going.
Remember, I said I found more research today.
Yeah, let's hear it.
What if I told you this was a hoax?
I'd believe it. I'd believe it.
So this was all just a part of one of the biggest marketing ploys of all time for a new Spanish series called The One Survivor. And it's a show of someone with a plot who is the last known human of our world. That came out in July of 2021. And each TikTok was a new installment of each show.
Makes sense.
Fucking right. I found that out today and a little part of my soul died. I was like, oh,
it's been out for what, 2 years now?
It's for 2 years. And like like I said, I went on his TikTok today. And I hadn't looked at this guy for a little bit. And I went on his TikTok today and I noticed that in one of the videos there was a girl in the video with him, like walking in front of him. So I was like, wait, what the fuck? What is happening here? So I went back down the rabbit hole, and then I finally, after about an hour and a half worth of digging, found that it's an actual show with a premise of this man being the last one standing on Earth.
Wow.
And it's like this had 6 million people fooled. I mean, sometimes that's not like that hard to do, but I mean, come on.
Great, good marketing. Good on
it's
them.
Fabulous. I just want to know like how they were able to get in all of those places. I'm sure you're able to get in all those places if you like call the right people and pay the right amount.
Right.
But how did you get it to where like nobody was there? You know, like I can understand going really early in the morning, going really late at night, but I just feel like there's a missing aspect there. It's that secret ingredient there. That's the like planner in me. I'm like, how do I get this to happen? So that's my one.
Super interesting. That's super interesting. That was a good one. I've never heard of this guy. That's some cool shit.
See, now do you realize, like, see why it inspired like this whole thing?
Yeah,
I was like, how is he doing this? So it's great. And now we've come full circle.
Yeah. So that was what inspired you to do this series?
Yeah. Javier was what inspired that, because I'm like, how is he doing this? And then like you get concerned because it's like, if this is real and he's really showing us this from, a different point in time in a different dimension, what happened to us?
Yeah.
And like,
wow,
it's crazy. It was absolutely mind-bendingly insane. I'm glad it's just a series. I'll definitely be going through this TikTok more to actually watch the full series, but that's what I got.
Interesting. So I'm going to mine now. Mine's a little shorter. On May 23rd, 1964, while on a day trip near the Soloway Firth in Cumberland, England, firefighter and amateur photographer Jim Templeton decided to take some photos of his 5-year-old daughter with his Kodak camera. Jim snapped 3 photos of her in sequence as she sat smiling in a meadow. Nothing seemed odd or out of place at that time, until Jim had the film developed. The first photograph was exactly as he remembered, just his daughter smiling in the meadow. So was the third. The third photo, exactly the same. The second photo, however, showed something else. Standing behind his daughter, just over her shoulder, stood what could only be described as a spaceman. This is the Soloway Firth spaceman photograph. If you haven't, Google that because it is super interesting. This being only appeared long enough between the first and third shots, which Jim took in one straight sequence. So he just snap, 3 pictures, boom, boom, boom. And only in the second picture did this being appear. Jim is adamant that this being was not present at the time of the photographs. According to Jim, there wasn't even anyone near them at this time. Upon reporting this image, hundreds of people came forth with different possibilities, supposed explanations as to who or what this spaceman was. So if you haven't seen this picture, it's Jim's daughter. We find out later her name's Elizabeth. She's just sitting in a meadow, smiling, and over her shoulder is like what you would think of when you think of a spaceman. White suit, black helmet, spaceman, just there in 1963. It's the Soloway Firth spaceman, if you're looking it up, Bailey.
Yeah.
Now, immediately, this picture obviously became gained a lot of interest from ufology. A lot of ufologists were instantly just taken by this as, possible photographic proof of a alien extraterrestrial visitor. You seen it?
The things are not working. Hang on, I'm sorry. The internet doesn't like me now. Oh my God.
Yeah. That was just there. He takes
looks,
3 photos. 1 and 3, nothing there. 2, that's there.
That looks like our moon landing gear.
Yeah, it's just a spaceman. It's the Soloway Firth spaceman. Now, this possibility of it being an extraterrestrial was later, supported by Elizabeth, who, now an adult. She said that she was interviewed and she said, "I think that it's someone from another planet. It's pretty selfish of us to think that we're the only intelligent form of life."
Hear, hear.
Now, some detractors express that it could have been a trick of the camera. Perhaps someone suddenly stood up behind Elizabeth, realized the picture was being taken. They sat back down, but not before a flash caught them and, overexposed it. So, they caught just an overexposure of someone behind her, and it just looks like a blown out white spacesuit. Jim himself had another theory that centered around the supposed cancellation of a missile launch in Australia. This took place in England. So in Australia, a missile launch of a Blue Streak missile was canceled because 2 men in spacesuits appeared on the firing range long enough to be seen and then immediately disappeared. According to Jim, witnesses of this event saw his photo and said that's exactly what they saw, is what he photographed. Now, this is more than a glitch in the sense that something odd appeared in the camera. You see, some people believe that Jim Templeton captured not a stranger standing behind his daughter or an alien, but a lot of people seem to think that perhaps Jim caught a glimpse, one single frame into a world beyond our own. He actually captured a interdimensional being.
That's cool.
In one single frame. So it's one shot.
Yeah.
And he's there, and it's there and gone. So a lot of people think this is actually some kind of interdimensional traveler who just so happened to get caught on this once in a lifetime single shot.
It makes sense. I was getting in my head, I'm like, if he says ultra terrestrial.
You never know.
If he says
extra ultra terrestrials in everything. You can say ultra terrestrial for anything. But
every episode is
that's what a lot of people believe is this was actually an interdimensional being that, Jim's camera caught that one frame glimpse of.
First of all, the fact that it happens within 1, 2, 3 seconds is, think about it. Think about how quickly you press a button when you're snapping photos, especially 1, 2, 3 in a row. That's quick. Secondly, I call bullshit. This is a trick of the light or someone standing up behind her. First of all, if he was standing up behind her, he would have to be 9 foot tall.
Yeah.
Because he'd have to be standing at a distance and just the angle where he is. It's crazy. Yeah, I can feed into the, they caught a glimpse of someone traveling dimensions. Because, that was my first reaction was, oh my God, it looks like I don't want to be specific and say it looks like U.S. space gear, but that's definitely what the model is.
It definitely looks like that. Now, Jim claims, I did read a thing, he claimed that at one point he was actually picked up by men who claimed they were with the government. They picked him up and told him that he had to take them to where he took this photo. And he took them there and, they asked him a bunch of questions and he was just adamant. He was like, I can't answer your questions because I didn't see this thing. Only saw it in the pictures. And he said they got mad and they just left him there and he had to walk home. They got mad. They got in their car and just left him.
Wow.
There in the Soloway Firth. So I don't know how far that was from home, but he had to find his own way home. There was also he had taken the photo to police and they kind of just shoot him away, say it, and they're like, "What the fuck are we gonna do with this?"
Yeah.
It's just a picture of a guy. But he was very adamant that it was something peculiar. But yeah, he saw nothing of it when he took the picture.
Oh my
gosh. When he developed it.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have seen that it literally would have been in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It would have been there. That's a lot.
But that's one I was able to find. I wanted to do something different outside of Reddit.
I love it.
And I found this one. I've always had this in my mind, the Soloway Firth spaceman. I've known this for a long time and never had the opportunity to talk about it. So it fits the mold. I mean, it's a glitch.
It does, yeah.
Something that shouldn't be there was there. So
absolutely,
that was my addition to the glitch encounters.
I love it. Awesome. I love it so much. I love the fact that, like, oh my God, so many
photographic
questions.
evidence.
It is photographic evidence of a literal glitch. It's insane. Oh, I love it. Are we ready for the final telling of the glitch in the universe?
Let's wrap it up here. Let's finish up your series.
Nice. We've got to
take it home.
I almost said we've got Tyler's meat in the middle of the sandwich.
Yeah, sure.
I was going to say the podcast is a nice little sandwich for us. And like, we've got the two stories that are the bread.
My meat between your buns.
No. That backfired really bad. Now that my face is as red as my hair, we will move on to the last story of the day.
Let's bring it home, Bailey.
Bring it home. Jafar Viren or as he was known as Newman, showed up. Newman. He's a Newman. So he turned up in a small town in Germany in 1851. Or sometime before then. We know that the story was published in 1851. There is speculation on when Jafar was actually in this village because there's not much written or documented about Jafar. We really only have 2 or 3 articles on him. Not kidding. Okay. From 1851 based on this. But he showed up in a small town in Germany. He was very sickly, confused, wandering the streets. Just a very sickly looking guy. And in this, small town, they're like, hey, who's that? Who is this? And Jafar would have a very interesting story to tell to people when they asked him where he came from. Jafar would say that he is from the country Loxaria. And when he pointed to it on the map, he would go on to say that it was a continent it was a region in the continent Sakira, which of this universe is one of the 5 major continents. Couldn't point it out on, today's map. Didn't even recognize an actual map at the time, like one from our universe. It was said that he spoke broken German. He could also read, write, and understand what is called Lexarnian and Abraman language, and he said these were common languages of his people. Jafar stated to be of the Christian faith, but instead referred to it as Ispostan, is how I'm going to go with that. Ispostan. But it was very similar to the Christian faith. Their books, the Holy Bible, was of course called something different, but other than like a few minor tweaks that were mentioned, it was the same thing. So Jafar, he claimed that Luxarnia was actually hundreds of miles away from Europe and was separated by oceans. So very much, yeah. So he also claimed for his reasoning to be in Europe was he was searching for his long lost brother. And upon his voyage to search for his brother, he suffered a shipwreck that led him into this small village in Germany, away from his homeland of Luxaria. What was interesting was when the village people took him back and said, okay, what direction were you coming from when, you landed on the shore? What shore did you come off of? That'll help us give us some sort of direction of where it is you were possibly going and where it is you came from. Jafar could not point out what direction or what shore he was on when he landed. He had no understanding of where it was he was going, no trace of where it was that he had come from. And like I said, even with any physical visual cues or written on a map, could not be recognized. He did state that there were 5 great lands on Earth according to his universe, which was Sakira, which was where he was from, Aflar, Aslar, Oslar, and Yoflar. That was a lot.
Okay. Yeah. That's a lot of...
That's a lure. Everything's a lure. This is a very short and sweet story because after, his time with the German people in the small town. Jafar was actually taken to Berlin for more questioning and possibly even testing that they had at the time. It was, however, rumored that he escaped while en route and was never found. Others speculate that while he was never found, he possibly made it back to his other universe and was able to go back to Luxuria, or he just got lost and died of things that were in our universe that weren't in his. And like I said, other than newspaper articles, there's really nothing else explaining who Jafar is, what happened to him, or where he was in fact from.
He just didn't.
They have no idea.
He wonder if he died or anything.
No,
wow.
It's just this really strange story of this man claiming to come from an entirely different land, mapped out entirely different than what we would have on our maps in 1851, and then to have 5 totally different continents a part of that earth. It was just insane. And I mean, he very well might have just been insane and had no idea what he was talking about. But from what I gathered from the articles, it was this man's passion of where he was going. And, the fact that he's like, I don't know where I am. So, yeah, pretty interesting little story that I got all the way back in 1851, all the way back.
Crazy.
I know.
We popped around a lot today.
We
went to the future, went to the past. It's crazy. It's a lot of weird glitches in the universe.
There are.
There's just 3 of them. There's a lot out there if you guys want to research more.
Oh my gosh, it's fabulous. If you want to go on a mind bender, yeah, absolutely. You just want to get lost for a few hours, go on a parallel universe.
Reddit. Go on a subreddit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, get on Reddit.
That.
I mean, that depends on how much time you have. Like, if you have a lot of time, go on Reddit. If you're limited, you might just want to do like YouTube and a general Google search. So anyway, that was awesome. I loved this so much. This was so nice. I didn't have to say very many big words. That was great.
A lot of weird countries you had to try to name out though. But yeah, this was a fun one. I love the encounters. And so that wrapped up your little series.
Yay!
Start us off here in 2023, your 3-part series.
Yep.
And here in a couple weeks, I will be presenting again another. I'll be doing Grey Goo.
Ooh,
is what I'm going to be doing.
Interesting.
As mine. What is Grey Goo?
What is Grey Goo?
Let's find out here in 2 weeks.
I'm excited.
What would that be? The 21st, I believe. This comes out on the 7th. So yeah, it'd be the 21st, right?
I think so.
March 21st.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
I believe so.
Yeah,
March
that's
21st.
it. Okay. We have a really weird schedule because, so our recording days and our release days actually kind of map out in a weird way, guys. So, this will come out on March 21st, and we'll be recording this on the 21st of whatever month this is, because I'm not going to tell you. But
we'll be back here to learn about what Grey Goo is.
That's exciting.
I'm excited for that one. It's a cool one.
Is it like Flubber? Is it like Robin Williams with Flubber?
It's Flubber.
Oh,
it's the anti-Flubber. It's the evil Flubber from the Flubber Cinematic Universe.
I'm gonna watch Flubber in honor of this. I'm so excited.
Yep. Yeah. Watch Flubber. You'll know exactly what I'm basically just recounting the movie.
Yes.
In narrative form. I'm basically just going to tell everyone the story of Flubber, the movie.
The evil Flubber's evil twin.
Yes, that's basically what I'm doing. So tune in on the 21st if you want to hear this dramatic retelling of Flubber. So
that's exciting. I'm so excited.
That's what it is. But yeah, there we go. This is a good episode. I love encounters. These are fun.
Too. It's
a lot less work to put in these. They're just fun to read about these weird little things.
I know.
And just talk about them because it's super interesting stuff. Weird encounters here in this world of all this crazy stuff we like to talk about. So it's always fun.
Big. I mean, it can only get weirder.
Oh yeah. We might have some. There's gonna be a lot more encounters coming this year, so stick around for that.
I'm just waiting for the encounter that comes up. Like, hey, there's an alien living in my shed. Excuse me? Do you want to be on the show?
Yeah. Let us know your encounters. That's the best thing about this.
Yes.
Let us know your encounters, or if you know of any other interesting glitches in the Matrix or universe, glitches in the universe. Let us know. You can do that on all of our social media at Cult Talk Net. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram is a good place. So where I'm always on Instagram. So Go check that out. If you want to leave any comments, do that on youtube.com, or we'll have this video up in video form. Make sure you follow all the other Cult Talk Net shows as well. All the info's at our hubs. You can find Cult of Campbell on Mondays. You can find Cult of Lore every other Thursday or Friday. And check out Cult of Lore on youtube.com/culttalknet, because they do some great full-length videos for a little enhanced experience. So check those out. They put a lot of work into those. So, but I think that pretty much does it. Make sure you tune in here in a couple weeks for Grey Goo, our next installment in the Cult Talk Conspiracy.
So excited.
I think that does it, Bailey. We wrapped up?
I think we're wrapped up. I think we're good.
All right. Well, I've been Ty.
I've been Bailey. Question everything.